What do you want to talk about? I want to talk about SmackDown. We're going to start with what happened at the very end because it was too crazy. And then we're going to get with the rest of the card, top to bottom. All right. So the promo at the very end saw Gunther, Sami, and Cody basically, go at each other saying, I'm going to win. No, I'm going to win, usual. But it's what happened after that made it even more crazy. So then Jey Uso comes out, right? And he says, to each of them, if you are the one that wins, doesn't matter. Bow. He said that to all of them. And then they kind of started getting into a brawl. But then guess who came out? My boy, Oba Femi. And if you've been watching my channel for a while now, you know I'm a big Oba Femi guy. He's honestly my top star right now. Huge respect for this man, and I want him to win King of the Ring. I want him to win the title. He doesn't even need these things, though. He is bigger. I'm telling you, he is the next big thing, and he is the biggest thing right now. Anyways, he comes out in the end. He has a face-to-face with Cody. But before that, they all do their finishers on each other. Gunther takes out Jey. Sami takes out Gunther. Cody takes out Sami. Oba and Cody come face-to-face. And that's how SmackDown ended. We then saw Trick Williams had a segment with Ricky Saints. Basically, he was saying he was away last week because he did just get married to Lash legend, Trick Williams, that is. And then Ricky Saints said, no, don't count me out. I am going to beat you. Ricky Saints, being Ricky Saints, got a little hit on Little Yachi while he was talking. And then as Trick Williams was checking in on him while Ricky Saints was retreating, he came back in and then he got Trick Williams as well with another ambush. The first match saw Tiffany Stratton and Alexa Bliss versus B-Fab and Michin. The match itself was actually pretty good. Alexa Bliss also sported her goddess look over her more recent modern look that she's had, so that was kind of cool to see as well. It was kind of a cool throwback. During the match though, at the very end, Tiffany Stratton was on the top turnbuckle, was about to hit her finisher, but Jade was there and grabbed her boot, which basically made her tumble backwards. B-Fab got her 1, 2, 3. They won. After the match, though, Chelsea Green came out of nowhere and stopped an attack on Tiffany Stratton, so it was kind of cool to see her there. And then we're going to talk about that, but that's going to turn into a match versus Jade Cargill later in the night. Backstage, we saw the MFTs leave Solo Sikoa. That is done. Solo is now on his own. The elders have spoken. Now, I think this is going to lead to something bigger. If you've been following me for the last couple weeks, I've been saying this. Similar to the NWO story, I think we are seeing a new modern version of this. I can predict that the Bloodline will not only run Raw, they're going to run SmackDown and possibly NXT, which is why even though I'm saying Oba is going to be the ruler, I can see Jey winning in some aspect if Brock Lesnar gets involved. I just can see that happen. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right. We will have to see. Put in the comments down below. Let me know what you think about that. Starting to look like the bloodline is sticking together. No matter what generation bloodline, the bloodline is running together now. We then had a beautiful AAA Cruiserweight Championship match. It was Nathan Frazier versus Rey Fenix. That match was top notch. Probably my favorite of the night. Another thing, if you've been following my channel, I am obsessed with AAA. It's free on Saturday nights. You can watch it on YouTube. There was a lot of high spots in this match, but in the end, he got his Mexican muscle buster, and Rey Fenix is still the AAA Cruiserweight Champion. LA Knight, yeah, made his way to SmackDown. He had a promo with Solo Sikoa, basically asking Solo why he did what he did on Raw when, he hit Jimmy with the spike, which led to LA Knight beating him. And Solo basically says he's done. He hates the bloodline. He doesn't like any of them, and the enemy of his enemies are his friends. LA said, yes, he hates the bloodline. Yes, he hates Roman Reigns. But no, he will not team with Solo. I do think he will eventually. I think you're going to start to see this like new WWE faction made up of a bunch of stars trying to take on the bloodline. Again, I'm telling you, the writing's there, and it would actually be cinematic. It would be really cool to see this in the modern day era. So I'm all for this. I think this could be really cool. JC Jane versus Paige. This match has been exactly like all the other Brie and Paige matches. In the end, Paige won because JC rolled her, and then Paige rolled her. There was no rampage. There was none of that to win it. I'm not saying she hasn't won that way though. But now I think that she's like 8-0 since coming back from WrestleMania. So pretty wild statistic. But anyways, yeah, Paige won that match. Not looking good for Fatal Attraction since they got the SmackDown. But it is what it is. Danhausen and Matt Cardona teamed up against Los Garza. It all started with Matt coming backstage talking to Danhausen saying like, dude, I'm starting to feel like Zack Ryder again. Woo, woo, woo. And then he left because Miz and Kit Wilson, who are now his like zombie minions. I know it sounds weird, right? But I'm loving this comedy stuff, so I'm all here for it. Anyways, he left. Los Garza came in looking for his money. They went. Then Danhausen found his minions in the ring. That turned into a segment. Then turned into a match. And in the end, Matt Cardona and Danhausen got the win. Of course, Angel. He was climbing up the top turnbuckle. He got cursed. Same thing. Pyrotechnic went off. And then Danhausen got the win. We then saw Chelsea Green take on Jade Cargill. The only thing I will say about this match is, yeah, they don't squash her, which is what I love. They used to squash her. They don't do that anymore. You know, she kind of gets in there, and sometimes you feel like she might get the win. In the end, though, Tiffany and Alexa then came out to try and save Chelsea from a beatdown from Jade after the match, but then BFAB and Michin came to even the odds, which ended up in Tiffany Stratton getting jaded, which I still think leads me to think that on Saturday, Tiffany Stratton is still going to be Tiffy Time United States Champion. The last match that I will talk about for tonight is Julia versus Kiana James. That match was actually pretty good as well. It was more what happened after the match. Blake Monroe finally made, I'm going to say, somewhat of a debut because we've seen her backstage and they've been doing the, coming soon promos. But she came and attacked Julia, who had defeated Kiana. I'm assuming that's going to lead to something, so we're going to have to see next week on SmackDown. But that was SmackDown in a nutshell. The biggest thing was definitely the promo at the very end. If you watch SmackDown, let me know what you thought. Put in the comments down below. And yeah, until next time, follow along for some more wrestling news, and I will catch you tomorrow for Night of Champions.